Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Daily Extra here. Tuesday, 30th of April already?
Yeah. May tomorrow.
Is it? Oh my God.
It's all good.
Scary. Tom Davies signed a new contract yesterday for the Blues. What are your thoughts?
I'm pleased. I'm a big fan of Tom. I think it sends out the right message.
Yeah.
I think it's quite interesting just with the comments that he's made in terms of things like the club have told me my career path and I've got the backing of the manager and things like that, because I think it is important that when you've got local lads coming through, yes, they have to be good enough, and there's obviously a section of Evertonians that don't think he is good enough, but what we've got to remember is he's 20 years of age.
Yeah.
He's
Definitely
represented England 50 times at different age groups and stuff. And he's played a lot of games in Everton's first team, and it's all about making the squad better, isn't it? And just because he signed a new contract, it doesn't mean he's better than Andre Gomez. Doesn't mean it, but what it means is the opportunity is there for him to grow, and that's training every day with those kind of players. And so I'm quite pleased with it.
We are live, so if you want to get in touch with us, we've got the comments open. So please do. Please get in touch with us. Loads of people have already, which we'll have a little look at in a minute. And ask us anything you want. It doesn't have to be about Tom Davies, but if there's any on Tom Davies, we'll pick them out now. So I'm made up for him because, like you've just said, he hasn't played loads recently, but he understands, being a young player, that there's a career path for him at Everton. He's obviously been told that, and he's looking to the future because the easiest thing to do would just be to jump ship and just go, well, I'm not getting enough games, I need to be playing at my age. Well, if the club have said to him, there's a way forward, we know we're going to integrate you into the team, we know what your strengths and weaknesses are, we know where we want to play you, we see you as this or whatever. That's all you really can ask for. He's an Evertonian. He wants to stay at the club, and the club want to keep him. So I really don't understand the negativity surrounding it, because a few people don't like him, or a few people don't understand what he brings to the team. Well, the manager and Marcel Brands, they do understand what he brings and what they see as his future. And you just, why can't people just go, sound? Why does there have to be like a big deal made out of it? In years gone, if someone was signing a new contract, would anyone have really have just said anything about it? If the manager wants a player to sign a contract, then they sign a contract. Then that's it. You get on with it. I don't see why anyone needs to make an issue of it.
I mean, it's a squad, isn't it? It's a squad game. And if he can get better and better, surely as Evertonians we want to see our squad made up of some local lads as well. And he does have to get better. And I suppose at the end of the day, the biggest thing for the likes of Tom Davies, if he doesn't get better, he won't play. It's as simple as that. The team is moving forward. But if this manager and Marcel Brands, who's got a lot of, experience, if they look and go, this fella's actually could grow into being a really good midfield player for Everton, then why wouldn't they give him a new contract? And we do have to just accept that they do know better than us. They're seeing him every day, so
especially if they've got a plan for him, if they know what they want from him going forward, if they understand what his position is, then all you can do is trust, can't you? It's not he only signed a new contract about 18 months ago, was he? So they obviously have got a lot of faith in the lad, and they want to probably, I suppose what they want to do is rest his mind on the situation as well, because I suppose if a lad feels like he's loved and the manager says to him, we know what we want from you, then to me that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's reassurance, isn't it? And it's a belief in what he's doing. But they'll probably be speaking to him and saying, you've got to get up to this level. We think you're a good player, and we think potentially you can be in our first team. We're pushing for the first team. You've got to show us a little bit more. And his comments are there. He talks about having to improve. He talks about proving to everybody he's good enough.
Yeah.
He talks about wanting to win a trophy at Everton and things like that. So you'd have to, trust that he knows that as well, and he'll work hard every day in training, and it's quite simply, that, and we deal with it. Have we got any questions?
I'm just looking. I'm looking now. There's loads of comments. Thank you. Keep getting in touch with us. Someone with a really long name that just says Mac Cheese Wedge at the end says I'm made up for Davies. What else have we got? It's hard to keep up with these comments. There's so many of them. Steve Kelly says happy for Davies. Where do you see his best position? I think what he gives us as someone who presses from the front, as someone who can
improve with us, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah, let's hope that Tom, going forward, can live out what he wants to do, live out his dreams of being an Evertonian. What else have we got?
Yeah, well, I've got one on Patreon from David Collins. First of all, on the Tom Davies thing, David says, I imagine Mark always said, watch and learn off Gomez.
Yeah.
And you can be that kind of player if you want. And that's important, isn't it? With that training element, training every single day alongside those players. So that is important. But David says, off topic, but with the murmurings about Unsworth looking for the first team to manage and possibly leaving this summer, would Sheeds step up or Fergie step across? Well, Kevin Sheedy's been in and done that and left the club, hasn't he? So he's looking for a different thing now. Would Duncan move across? I don't think he would. I think Duncan's quite happy where he is, and I think Marco Silva's quite happy with what Duncan's doing. In terms of who would step up, well, they've got John Ebrell and Franny Jeffers there at the moment. I don't know whether they go out and get someone else in if Unzi moved, but it's a big call for David Unsworth because he's in charge of the whole academy, isn't he? So, Marcel Brands might have a different idea on that and want to bring someone else in if Unsworth moved, but it's an interesting one, the Unsworth one, isn't it?
Yeah, if he was just the under-23s manager, then I could understand him saying, right, I wanna move on. There's a lot of talk about Wigan. Obviously, Joe Royle's at Wigan. There's a lot of talk that maybe he could go to Wigan. Obviously, he's been the manager at Wigan before. Played at Wigan before. He scored the goal that kept him up a few years ago. So he's obviously much loved there as well. But it's that idea that because he does run a lot of the things that go on. But then that might change, mightn't it, with Marcel Brands? Marcel Brands might change that himself, and we'll have to wait and see.
I think that's the murmurings are that things are going to change in the summer anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
So who knows what developments will take place there in the summer, if any. But the murmurings are that there's going to be some changes. So who knows? Yeah, so have we got any more? We've got a lot of comments, but is there anything to pick out of them?
Just having a look. Jake Thompson says, how far or close do you think we are from the top 6? Go on, Baz, I'll let you answer that
Jake,
one.
I don't think we're very far at all. I think you've got, again, people will talk about levels or bands of clubs. I think obviously the top 2 are quite comfortably the top 2 this season, and then I would tag Spurs onto those 2. But Chelsea, Arsenal and United, I honestly don't think we're that far away from them. I really don't. I think inconsistency is a big thing. I think they are quite clearly more consistent than us because the points tally will tell you that. But Everton have shown, certainly in the last 4 home games, they can compete with the teams at the top. And, as a result of that, it's the big thing for me will be going away to the likes of Fulham, going away to the likes of Crystal Palace and winning those games. And if we start to do that on a regular basis, we will ultimately close that points tally because that's what those teams do. Take Arsenal, for example. Arsenal have won 14 home games this season, but they've won 5 away games, or 6 away games, one more than Everton. So if we can, if we were to beat Burnley on Friday, we've won 10 home games. So if we could win another 3 home games next season and another couple of away games, then we'd be in the mid-60s, which would have us right in the mix for the Champions League place this season. So I don't think we're that far away. But again, it's consistency, isn't it? And that that's going to be the thing that we have to improve next season. We have to win more home games and win more away games, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we have to just improve, don't we? It's a question from Stephen Kelly. It's quite an interesting one, this. not too up to date with it, and I'd sort of forgotten all about this. It says, what do you make of the club not having the Dixie Awards this year? Everton experimenting with videos of nominated fans handing over awards at Finch Farm and at the Royal Library buildings, packaged to go online. Club keen to test how popular is it, particularly with non-UK hits and views. So yeah, there is no. I mean, I totally forgot about the Dixies.
It's literally an online poll.
Yeah,
that's what
I'd totally forgotten that there was no Dixies.
Listen, so you know, it is what it is. So I think it's just an individual thing. I think having online content like that goes worldwide is massively important. I don't think Everton do enough of it. To be honest, we need to spread our brand as far and wide as we can. We need to get better at selling ourselves as a football club. There's millions of fans out there who could be Evertonians, could be turned into Evertonians. But if the club ultimately don't reach out to those people, then why should they be? You know, you're in a very, very difficult market with some amazingly, you know, famous football clubs. We've got, you know, one of the biggest clubs in the world, sadly, that shares the city with us. So we are competing, but Everton should be doing things like American tours and things like that to spread the word. But one thing they can do, and I know that Peter Moore at Liverpool is really trying to hammer this, is the online stuff, make it better. Man City are global market leaders with this, and Everton need to very quickly get up to speed with doing all that online stuff.
Why couldn't Everton do something like this? What is to stop them? What is to stop Everton doing something like this on a Wednesday night or something or whatever? Grab one of the players and it's steady. And listen, I know our streams dropped out a couple of times and I apologise for that, but they'd have much better internet than us and they wouldn't share an office with other people using it. But why couldn't Everton have a player or the manager or whoever for 30 minutes on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night or whatever, like this? I'm the host. There's the player. There's the manager. There's the coach. There's all the questions. Nothing's going to catch it out. It's not going to. If there's any questions in here that I don't like, I don't ask them. I don't have to ask them. If I'm working for the club, I go, oh, we've had a question from Dave, who's in Seattle. What about this, Gaffer? Or about this, Tom? Do you know what I mean? It's things like that I think Everton have to start getting better at. And just because it's live, what difference does it make? It's not like it's going to catch anyone out.
It's not like it's an open mic.
But
it's getting filmed live.
But also though, the next step from that is to do stuff that is like have a video wall, you know, and we've had a message from so and so, and that doesn't have to be live. That can be pre-recorded question that you see almost on a screen behind the people, and there's all these things can be done. They're not hard. It's about interacting with your audience, which is something we're trying to do more of, because it lets people have a voice back and forth. I mean, we're talking and you're leaving comments, and it's almost like a back and forth conversation. And Everton need to do more of that for me. They really do, and that's what other clubs are starting to cotton on to. That it is a worldwide following, but what you've got to do with that worldwide following is you've got to love it. You've got to put a little bit, give it a bit of hug.
Listen, you're fighting for every fan. You should be, because you know we know the core of Evertonians live within 10 miles of the stadium, but there's fans up and down the country, and there should be fans worldwide as well. It's how you grow as a brand. It's how you grow as a club globally, and ultimately that makes the club money. And if you've got more money, you can buy players and wages and everything else, and your team becomes more successful. Yeah. What else have we got, mate?
Well, just off the back of that.
Yeah.
Steve said, was thinking before, lads, how good it is this listening to everyone else's point of view. Have you heard of any pre-season tour for next? Well, we have, but can't really go into that. Let's have a little look. What have we got? Any more on Patreon?
Yeah, Toffee 96 on Patreon. Do you think Evertonians will become restless and calling for the manager's head next season if we finish outside the top 6 and miles behind them sides again like this campaign?
No, not if. I don't think if you can see progression and you can see where it's going, like we have in the last 6 or 7 weeks, then you'd have to trust that they're building something. You want to see progress, of course. We want to see progress, and it's the most frustrating thing would be is that top six. You know, you've seen in the last few weeks how fragile Man United, Arsenal and Chelsea can be, really, and how fragile Tottenham can be. Tottenham have lost 12 games this season. They're a team that goes out to win every game, and they don't mind. Well, they will mind losing games, but they will try and win games to the point that they'll lose games, and that's.
They've lost 2 less than Everton,
and that will get you.
So
if you've got that ambition and you've got good players, that will get you high up in the table. So it all depends on how it's achieved. So
I don't think we should be looking to be finishing miles behind them anyway. I think it's a progression thing, and it's up to us. All we can do is the best we can and see where it takes us. But
and Stereo Contos has said the top 6 is a myth. Arsenal, Chelsea, United are all pants. Well, they've pretty much shown they are, haven't they? North Korea. I don't know that if that's the whole. I suppose it would be the whole country, wouldn't it? Because
the one.
They wouldn't be an individual, would they? Has asked. Question. Obviously, we need a centre forward. Would you have Lukaku back for say 100 million, knowing that he will guarantee 20 goals per season on top of what we have now with Richarlison and Gylfi Sigurdsson?
Would I have him back? Yeah, if he slimmed down a little bit. And I don't mean he's fat, but what I mean is he's got too much bulk on him, too much muscle. Of course, you'd have Ron back because he's a goal scorer. However, Everton are never going to pay 100 million for Romelu Lukaku and give him 270 grand a week or whatever that he wants. So, but someone of that, that quality. What I look at is I look and think, imagine if he was in our team now. Now, okay, he wouldn't do the output that Dominic Calvert-Lewin does in terms of work rate, but he will be in the middle to finish chances off. And if you think about Sigurdsson supplying him, or Bernard or Richarlison, he would get a half full of goals for Everton, I think.
Ben Shaw says we should do more of these. Love the content, keep it up. Ben, we do. We do it on Patreon nearly every single day. We do a live video. We did one yesterday. An Ask Us Anything question. People were asking me about Game of Thrones and Avengers and everything. So we do this like 3-4 times a week on
thanks, Ben,
on Patreon. Which is sound.
Daniel Hayes says, should next year without Europe be just about making a real go of the domestic cups and challenging the top 6?
I think next year, I think the way to look at it next year is that it almost happens every year for us. That League Cup becomes irrelevant because we're always bedding players into the squad. We're always chaining the squad about. We've done it it always seems to come at the wrong time, doesn't it? And it's like, if we could get to those latter stages when players are feeling a little bit more in tune with everything going on, maybe we do better. But we always struggle to get past maybe the first or the second or the third round. Maybe next season with a little bit more continuity, hopefully, that we can put out a team that can win those games. But we very much have made the League Cup almost like a squad exercise, and
should it be a priority?
I've always been against that. I think it should be a priority. And I think maybe the club look at it like that is because we've never won it and we don't have a tradition in it. But for me, I think it should be a massive priority, because I know in the last few years it has always been a top 4 side that's won it, but it does tend to open up if you can get through the first couple of rounds when those other teams don't prioritise it. For us, I think I would prioritise it. So
you've got to have a go, haven't you? And Everton have proved, Everton have proved in the last few weeks that they can match a lot of sides in a one-off. Certainly at Goodison, I know, Fulham game aside, which was just one of those days, I think, or I hope. Everton have proved that the quality is getting better. We need players, of course we do, but why not? Why not go after something?
It's an interesting comment. Mike Nicholson has said, Wolves have stole our season. Well, I mean,
I think Man United have stolen our season.
No, but I understand that comment. But what I would say is that Wolves, for me, had a whole season last season where that team was allowed to be built. It was a Premiership team in the Championship. And they've gone on with that this season. And okay, they had a little sticky period at the beginning where they were trying to find it. Well, not even at the beginning, but they found their feet and they've grown as a team as they've got used to the Premier League because they've got good players. And that's where they've stolen a march on us because we've had to build a team from scratch for this season, and it's took us longer. But they're having the season of their lives, and at the moment they're 4 points ahead of us, and they're having the season of their lives. And you've always got to look at that. Watford are having the season of their lives. Okay, they're in the cup final, but as it stands, we're ahead of them in the table. So you got to look around you and say, can we go again? Can we build on what we've got? Will those other teams? Now Wolves might be able to because they've got an agent basically running the club, and they've got good players and they've got a good manager. But I don't look at it and go, "Oh, Wolves," you know, because I look at us and think, because we had this. I think we had a question on another video by Steve, maybe last week, and he was saying, should we be disappointed because that top six is that poor, that really is it a missed opportunity because we've beaten them? Well, I think it's the same answer. It's not a missed opportunity because what more could we have done? That middle bit was so disappointing, but it wasn't like we had solutions to it, was it? The solutions have come from getting on the training ground and working hard.
What'll really disappoint me is if we have another section in the season next season like that and we don't learn from it. That's the key for me. It's still within year one, aren't we, of a plan, you know, with Marcel Brands and Marco Silva. So we didn't react very well at Christmas when the games were thick and fast. The manager, I don't think, reacted very well. I don't think he knew who he could trust. I think now in the squad he kind of knows who he can trust. So I would put more faith in us next year, not going on a run like that. Is an interesting question from someone called 1,000 subscribers, no videos. Well done. I'm from St Helens. About 4 or 5 years ago, almost everyone I knew, the larger minority, supported Everton. It's decreasing steadily. This shows that we need a trophy to attract more fans, as more fans equals more dough. That's an interesting one, that, because I think there's always this idea, isn't it, that Everton have got fans everywhere, and we did. We had Liverpool fans always love us to give us grief, saying, you know, Wales is full of Evertonians, North Wales. Even though they're the biggest.
It is, but Liverpool are now bigger. That's probably more in the south. And Man United have become a bigger team in Manchester. They probably have now in Wales in the last 20 odd years. Ireland used to be a massive Evertonians, still is, but I imagine Liverpool and Man United have been grown more. And it's probably the same everywhere. America, 10, 15 years ago, we probably, while it was like hardcore before it exploded, we probably had a big portion then. And you're right, we've absolutely lost them, because you will. Listen, I used to work in Prescott and Rain Hill and all around there. And there's Man United fans up there, even though people think that's like, it's like you've got Highton, then you've got Prescott, and then you've got like Rain Hill, and then you've got St Helens, and you've got Man United fans in Rain Hill. You've got Wigan actively advertising in places like Prescott for season ticket holders, because it's not that far away. And that's the problem we face. It's there's all these other clubs that are starting to emerge. I kid you not. Right, I kid you not. On after the Man United game, right? There was 2 kids that walked past the hot walk in full Manchester City trackies, and that's the way it's becoming. You drive past any kids training session in Liverpool, and you'll see kids wearing Barcelona, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Man City, Liverpool, and you might see a couple wearing Everton. And that's just the kids now. Football to them is everywhere. It's global.
My lad is 8. He goes to footy on a Thursday training, and he'll go in a Juventus kit or whatever. But there's quite a few Blues there, quite a few Reds, but loads of kids have got City tops on, and Barcelona, Real Madrid, Paris, Juve, Roma. Dortmund, even well, my lad's got Dortmund, but a few bit Dortmund as well, because kids, you know what, when I was growing up, I didn't have Liverpool, but I had loads of kits, because it was great, but I think more and more now, kids, especially with like the FIFA generation, because they're actively able to play with these teams online and everything, they've got for a lot of clubs.
It doesn't feel like it. I mean, when I was a kid, I had different kits. Mostly like Celtic, and the odd ones you could sort of find. I remember having an Olympiacos shirt because I found it in the Heritage, and I loved it. And it was like, because nobody else had it, so to me it was boss. I remember my mate having like an Aston Villa kit that he bought in the fire sale from Jack Sharp's.
I had a Villa kit with like, that was white stripes, like cotton stripes, brilliant.
Loads of kids had loads of different kits, and that's fine, but now, to them then, it was more like, it was just a kit, because there was no connection. But if you're a kid now and you're playing on things like FIFA, you have that connection because you're playing as those players. So don't be surprised if your kid is like, he's watching Everton and you're not winning anything. And he's been bombarded by adverts for all these different teams and for like whoever Ronaldo plays for. Because that's the other big thing now. We're becoming almost Americanized, where people will follow the likes of LeBron because I follow LeBron, so therefore whatever team he goes to, I'll support. We've had that for a while, but that's becoming more and more in this country as Messi and Ronaldo become bigger and bigger. And then Mbappe or Neymar or whoever. And you're right, but that's what we were going back to before. It's how Everton keep hold of those fans. It's how Everton connect to those fans. It's a word I use all the time. It's humanising. It's humanising your players with fans. But it's also, I suppose, on the flip side, making players like superheroes to kids as well. So, and that's where video and the internet is such a big thing now. It's getting that connection with them. And that's why I say Everton need to do more. Because all these behind the scenes videos are great because it does connect. It gives you that like little insight. But for me, there has to be more. There has to be like, as I say, do something which is like live. They do on pre-season. They have like these live things. They're not ever live. But it's like video and
have questions
and stuff like that, but do it, John. I know footballers' time's precious, but supporters just want to know this stuff.
Definitely. Anything else?
Yeah, there's loads going on. Let's have a look. Loads of people saying, hang on, sorry. Hello from Norway. Toffee TV's great fan channel. There you go, an Evertonian Norwegian, and that'll go down well. We've had loads on like the strikers and gone. What Nathan B says, what transfer budget do you think we will have next season? Do you think we will spend it all securing Zuma and Gomez?
I think it'll be an organic transfer. Transfer.
But we're going to grow them.
I think Well, what I mean by that is there'll be obviously a number that I think Marco Silva's already come out and said the chairman, the owner's going to back us with money. So therefore, your Gomez, your Zuma, if you can get Zuma out of Chelsea, and a striker, I think won't be an issue. And then that'll be supplemented by selling players. Maybe Walcott will go, maybe Tosin, or maybe Vlasic, maybe Onyekuru if he doesn't. Want to look at him when he couldn't get a work permit, and other players like that will come back in to the coffers, so to speak. So I think it can move. I think Marcel Brands will have his eye on players who maybe aren't being mentioned at the moment as well. He was at the South American under-20s World Cup, World Championships in January. There might be a couple of players over there that have got buyouts of 10, 15 million. And he might buy a couple of them. So I think it's difficult to say a figure, but I think they're trying to secure Gomez at the moment. It's quite clear they want to secure Zuma as well. And I know that centre-forward is big on Marco Silva's mind as well. So we'll see where we go from that. But, the local press and national press are reporting he wants 6 players at least. Yeah. So, we'll see where
it's an interesting question from Tried for a While 2518. Okay. Try more. What do you think of Everton trying to get Joseph Martinez from Atlanta United potentially?
He's not doing great this season. He's been fantastic in MLS, but he's had Frank de Boer paws all over him. It's just not going as well. And he's also...
They're not paws you want.
He's missing Miguel Almiron, who was a chief provider for him last season. Martinez has done really, really well, and he's quite quick. Has he got the stats yet for the Premier League? He's only little. He's a little bit like Aguero.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
You know, he's quite strong. He's you know, small, but he's quite strong. It's an interesting one.
I do think he'll end up in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I do.
I think someone will take a chance on him. And Almiron has been fantastic for Newcastle, and he's lightweight, isn't he? I don't know. I don't know because I don't know whether Marco Silva wants a more physical number 9.
Do you think we look at that market at all?
We didn't, quite clearly. But I imagine Marcel Brands will have, especially given, think about, and we watch MLS.
I'm thinking about it.
So the chief supplier now of imports into MLS, where did he come from?
South America.
And Marcel Brands is heavily into South America in terms of, you know, an area to tap into. So I imagine he knows Joseph Martinez. I imagine he knows who's the best up-and-coming players. And he will look and it might be a case of him going, can he do it somewhere else? He's gone to MLS, right? Let's keep tabs on him in Major League.
It has dried up, that, hasn't it? The American route into the Premier League really has dried up. When you think of the players that were in the Premier League maybe 5-10 years ago, a lot of hard working American players. It almost reminds me of when you had the early to mid 90s when we got loads of Norwegians. Remember? They were all dead hard working, and they were all dead hard working, and it almost feels like that. Of course, we're getting probably America's best player at the moment coming soon. Pulisic is going to Chelsea, but there doesn't seem to be that many coming over, or just anyone really. When you think about, and people will be out there and they'll think the MLS. Maybe some of them will still think it's a retirement home, which it's not. It's not, because it's got a lot of young. I mean, Atlanta sold Almiron to Newcastle and then went and bought River Plate's captain, who'd won them the Copa Libertadores.
And he was the South American Player of the Year, wasn't he? And they bought him.
So that's who they went and bought. And normally that path would be probably somewhere like Portugal or maybe Ajax back in the day. So that's the path they're taking now, and then they're looking to sell them on.
Well, don't forget, Martinez was at Torino in Italy, and he went from there to Atlanta. So to Atlanta rather. So it'll be interesting to see whether he does get a move.
Any questions on
David Suggs? Any relation to Madness? Are there any players in particular that you want Everton to really push forward for the global market?
Not really, because I don't think. I think you can more likely create stars than buy stars. I think that's probably Everton's way of going forward. Look at someone like, for Liverpool when they bought Salah. Were they thinking that he was going to be this global star because of his ethnicity, you know, because of his religion, which has exploded him, and you know that's not a.
He's been fantastic since when Liverpool bought him. I remember speaking to the lads in the Redmen, and they seen him as someone to enhance the squad, as a squad player. So I don't think anybody really thought he would have the impact he's had in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net. He got, what was it, 40 goals or something last season? He's got 25 this season. He's been incredible, and it goes hand in hand, doesn't it? You score that many goals, you're bound to, you know, increase eyes everywhere, and he's become, you know, the Egyptian god or the Egyptian king and everything, hasn't he? But he's on it. So yeah, I don't think there's anybody. I don't think we could go and target someone the way that Chelsea targeted Pulisic, for argument's sake. We probably could have done 12 months ago if we'd have been able to get, say, Marcel Brands in a room with him. But that at the moment, that ship sailed.
Chris Chappell says watching from Rhodes in Greece. Nice one.
It's right, Chris.
There's loads. So it's very hot. Lots of Everton fans and there's a few Liverpool fans as well. This is a question, and this is probably the best name going. Harrison McGlashan. What a name.
What a Harrison McGlashan.
McGlashan.
Brilliant name.
He said, who should replace Garner if he leaves?
Tough one. Listen, the names out there, and Dombele at Lyon. There's obviously Decore, who has got Premier League experience with Watford, and I think he's excellent. There's Samare, who Everton have been linked with, who's at Lille, a young kid who is, that's in the press again today. Garner's going to be very, very difficult to replace if he leaves, because his performances since almost leaving have been fantastic. Can he do more? Of course he can. So replacing him, I don't know, to be honest with you, because it's about what works best, isn't it? With ideally, you'd replace him with someone who can do his job almost as well as what he can do, but then is more creative and can do other stuff that Garner can't do. And I'm sure Marcel Brands will have his eye on. And listen, he will have spoken, and the manager, to Garner in January. So if he's as good as what I think he is and what we're being told he is, he will have had a backup all the way now, because he'll know that there could be an issue again this summer. Ross Charlton, oi lads, I just joined the show. I am live. Or am I live? Sorry about terrible instant match reaction. Ross, you know what, mate? I'd have posted it. However, you told me that you didn't watch it and you went to watch the pitches or something. You went to pitches, which is fine. But I can't do it. I can't put a match reaction on that doesn't talk about the match.
Yeah, that's
it
weird.
It kind of defeats the object.
Darren S has said, "Hi lads, going to the game Friday. I've won a giveaway from Gomez."
Superb. What is it?
Going to the match.
Oh, the giveaways from Gomez. Yeah. Oh, the tickets. Excellent.
We've had a couple of people asking about David Neres.
Again in the press today. Kia Jora ban, or however you say his name, is him of Carlos Tevez and Javier Mascherano all those years ago. He's his agent. He was obviously pictured with Marcel Brands and Farhad Moshiri at the West Ham game, but he's got close links to West Ham. Listen. Right, can you hear us now? It's bouncing again. Let us know if you can hear us. It's probably not great, but let us know if you can hear us. Can anybody hear us, guys?
Yeah, can you hear us? Hang on, there'll be a delay.
Yes, is that yes?
Can you hear us now? Okay, the sound won't probably be as good. I think the batteries have probably gone. Yeah, the batteries have gone on our mic.
So we're gonna shut this down in 3 minutes.
So we'll be finishing in a minute. Apologies for that. It is live.
There you go.
No, there you go.
That's what you get with lives.
How many people are saying yes?
Thank you.
Everyone's just like yes. Yeah, it was the Redmen.
Redmen have robbed the sound.
Yeah, they've robbed the sound. I think it was the batteries going in our little microphone thing that makes it all sound dead good. Yeah. But thanks for telling us anyway. And now
it's all right. Okay.
Let's have a couple last ones.
Couple of last questions.
Jim says, which two players not connected with EFC currently would you love to see in August? They're saying the secondary mic's better than the first ones.
That's weird. I would love to see Timo Werner. I'm not saying we could get him, but I'd like to see him. And midfield, another wide player, maybe. Anyone you'd like to see in August? Who'd excite you?
A centre forward. A centre forward, but I can't really name one. But I'd love a centre forward.
I like the look of Augustin at Leipzig. I know he's unproven, but his goal record's all right, and he's quite quick. So
Amin says, before wrapping up, as an early May Day gift, can Ped please say Sean Dyche the same way Sean Dyche says it? Sean Dyche,
Is that how he says it? I don't know. It's like a bit of Sean Dyche and Johnny Vegas at the same time. Monkey.
That's what you sounded like. I mean, come on.
It was a bit too northern for Sean Dyche.
That wasn't
wasn't
Sean Dyche is a bit,
Jamie Bird says go back for Lorenzo.
Who?
Lorenzo? Lozando?
Lozano.
That's what it says. I'm reading it as it says it. That's what it
Literally says Lozano.
Exactly, and that's what I've just said. I'm still in The Voice.
Oh, okay.
Lozano.
Yeah. If you were in The Voice, kid, Will I Am.
I'm going to get home. I'm going to have a lovely plate of Lozano. Cover it in gravy.
Yeah, okay. Let's not do it.
So I got 10 out of 10 for
effort. Yeah.
Mertens would be great. That's 1,000 subscribers, no video. Joe McCarthy says Felix should join Everton.
Yeah, but his buyout's €100 million.
Agent 76 says, guys, I wrote to Howard Kendall back in '93 for a trial. He wrote back and said no.
It's a bit harsh.
Why would you even? At least he wrote back.
He did write for trials. That's what he didn't.
No,
Yeah.
Stuart says,
What a name. So good they named you twice.
Says Mitrovic or Josh King.
Josh King every day of the week over Mitrovic. 100 times out of 100.
Chris Chappell says sounded like smoking 60-year-old Vera Duckworth.
Did. What's that? Joe McCarthy, Joe Felix, get that man at 100 million buyout. Joe, not happening.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we'll wrap it up there.
That is it. I'm starving.
It's been good.
And the batteries are probably going to go on this as well now. So.
No. It'll be fine. Don't
Thank
worry.
you very much for everybody who tuned in, everybody who took part, everybody who commented.
We do this most days on Patreon. Can we just get over to you?
Just get over for the price of a pint. Get over
do
to
that
Patreon.
most days on Patreon.
Get over to Patreon.
This most days on Patreon. So, thanks for watching. See you later.